Hi, everyone. I am Aaron Kuder. And
yes, you are. Who are you again?
Aaron Kuder right here. And you're on Splash Pages.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
is the one obvious thing.
What's wrong with him?
His girl just broke it off.
It's her father. He doesn't want her dating a zombie.
Why? What are they, demons?
She is predeceased.
An outsider?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you're asking for trouble.
She broke my heart.
You're a zombie. Technically, you don't even have a heart.
After all of the great cinema that we brought to the world, and we still get no respect.
I don't know why he doesn't like me. I'm responsible. A full-time job.
You work at a haunted house in October.
I'm trying to be healthy. She's a vegan, so...
Wait, you're giving up meat?
Oh, come on.
What are you gonna do? Attack a farmer's market to try to impress her?
Now, if he was a vampire, you'd have a much better chance with her death.
Yeah, those pretty bastards.
I didn't think this would be that hard.
Hard? Man, I'm a zombie and I'm black.
Here we go.
I blame the educational system.
I blame the media.
I blame George Romero.
Oh. How could you be so disrespectful?
Coffee?
Zombies don't know much, but they do know good coffee, Deadly Grounds. It's coffee to die for, and zombie approved.
Who's George Romero?
Just have some coffee.
I'm sorry you got enjoy the Okay, I'm just going to take over from this point. Sorry, everybody. Leo is on a business trip, and he's going to be in a back tank for a while when he gets back because he's a ginger in Phoenix, Arizona. So I'm doing the show for him tonight. Hey, how's it going, Jeff? How's it going, Dylan? Hi, nice to see you guys. We have a great show tonight. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm excited to be behind the keyboard, even if I have to be Leo. I don't get to ask as many questions, but that's fine. We have an excellent guest. It's going to be great. All of the symbols and loves to you as well, Dylan. But let's go over and check and see how Jar Jar's doing.
I'm doing fantastic, by the way. Hi, Jeff and Dylan. It's great to see you guys in the comment section as always. I'm having a great Tuesday. I've been twitching up a stream. Well, whatever. I've been twitching a lot, and it's going really well. So I'm ready for tonight's guest. So let's do that.
All right, Drew.
Oh, nice.
Everybody else is wearing a hat, so I just felt like I was getting left out, so I don't want that. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. Thank you for all the regulars who are showing in, like those faithful bar patrons in some sort of sitcom. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, join us. Thank you. We have a fantastic guest. He's been killing it over the last decade or two on a ton of major projects for Marvel and DC. He was slaying it with Action Comics with Greg Pak. He's been doing a lot of stuff with Marvel. He did Death of X with excuse me, with Jeff Lemire and Charles Soule. He did Ghost Rider with Ed Brisson. He did Daredevil with Saladin Ahmed, and most recently he's worked with Planet She-Hulk with the great Stephanie Phillips. We had a pleasure of getting to interview him at Terrificon. It was like the last year, the year before that. I don't know. Time is really weird when you don't care anymore. But he's fantastic. We got a chance to have him on the show. Really excited. The extremely talented yet very humble, the one, the only, Aaron Kuder.
Hello, everyone.
Listen to that live crowd.
There you go. What's up, man?
If you listen closely, you might hear like the sound of my neighbors and the crickets in my neighborhood.
It's fine.
My headphones tend to pick up everything, so
it's okay. We had a guest who had a body mic on that sounded like he was constantly unwrapping candy. So as he was talking, he would just be like, I'm like,
he's just
can you
poking the bear with the diabetic crowd.
You know, so it's all good. But thank you so much for joining.
It's gonna work. I don't get to be a hack person.
There you go. Really appreciate it. It's funny because I always want to go because we got a chance to interview at Terrificon. I think it was like a year or two ago, and I always want to discuss origins because I feel like every time I'm doing research, I always learn something new about you and your backstory. That's so like rad, and I'm just like, what? Like my story's so basic.
You this time?
Well, I wanted to talk about art styles because. Having read a lot of your work now, especially, I noticed that you said that your style is kind of like a blend of people who've influenced you throughout the years. Like, I believe there was like Art Adams was thrown out, the great Alan Davis, like people who did like Dark Horse Legends in the 90s, but there was a huge influence that I didn't know, but maybe you can explain a bit more. There's a get name dropped. I believe his name was Grzegorz Rosiński.
Yep.
He's a Polish comic book artist.
Yeah.
Bravo, Drew.
Yeah. I believe you're a big fan of his book. I believe it's called Thorgal.
Yep, Thorgal. Yeah. No, I discovered his work actually probably before I discovered Mobius.
Right.
I had a friend of mine that moved to Poland right out of high school, and I went to visit with him. And I was there for a month, and one of the best things about traveling is seeing, for me anyway, is seeing like how other cultures and stuff, what their comics are like.
Right.
There's something to the art of storytelling,
right,
that is so universal. You don't need language to it. So I went out and I checked out. I got like all these random comics, and one of them was Thorgal, and just blew me away. Like his style is very similar to Mobius, with in respect to like Mobius is maybe like more Western, like cowboys sort of stuff. And he did it all. He was a penciled, inked, colored, watercolors or whatever, and just like it's just beautiful. And it was you could tell it wasn't like the monthly grind sort of illustrated book.
Right.
It was made for the art of it.
Right. And then you're a fan, like, again, you said you're a fan of like European comics, so we're talking like Dylan Dog and Tintin, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Asterix, Obelix.
Right.
Is
I'm
that how you
blanking
got,
on some, but
is that how you got started with being a comic geek?
no. Well, I started reading comics because I was moving around a lot as a kid. You know, my
Right.
very typical Gen Xer, my latchkey kid. My parents were split up, and I moved back and forth between them a lot. And so, like, you know, the backseat of the family car was, you know, where my playground and my comics and my sketchbooks were my friends. So those are the worlds I dove into all the time, and it just never stopped.
That's cool in a way.
Any
Rough,
Lucky
but cool.
Luke comics?
Lucky Luke, yeah. It's been a minute since I've been able to, like, really go out and explore. I mean, everything's so at your fingertips now.
Right.
It makes it harder to, like, really dive deep and find those obscure things, because, you know, the algorithms filter you out of so much.
Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of miss you would just find a shop and you would just have like an hour or two to kill, and you would just go and you would just peruse the back issues, getting used to the musty smell of back issues, and you'd find a gem. You're like, oh wow, I've been looking for this. You find that perfect comic that'd be a good present for a friend, that you tuck away in case you need it if you really fuck up. Be like, hey, I love you. Here's the thing you've been looking for.
Right.
This is great. What did you do? So,
real quick before we go past the influences, Ryan Michael Toon would like to know if Geof Darrow is one of your influences.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that, like, right in that the wheelhouse of all the folks that, you know, started up Dark Horse. That clean line was really appealing to me. The ability to draw every little nut bolt. I would literally get headaches from just, like, looking at his art and just not focusing past 2 feet from my face for hours on end. Kind of.
I don't know. I have ADD, and, like, being able to, like, sit there and just suck something in for hours and not being disturbed is just really nice.
Well, it's kind of like how
that was my disturbed. That was like the thing that I was distracting myself with from life. You know, it's like that's what I was zoning in on.
And that was before people were doing, like, oh, by the way, we're going to have over 700 people in this cover, and you're like,
right.
Sure, yes, let's go with that.
Yeah, you felt really lucky to get, like, a splash page on the interior of a book from a different artist.
Oh yeah.
You know, remember Splash? Like, ironically, your podcast is named
Big
Splash
fan
Pages,
of them.
but, like, those splash pages where it was just, like, the artists doing their version of that character on the interior of a book, like a lot of times annuals, stuff like that.
Right.
There's one that pops into my head, like, every time I think about it. But Mike Mignola did a beautiful version of Mojo in one of the X-Men annuals. And
oh my God!
Like, never saw anything like it. It was so streamlined, so smooth. It was
that's one of Drew's heroes right there.
Oh my God! Yeah. I remember I was at a comic shop for after my friend's birthday. I think it was in St. Mark's in the city, and I was just talking. I was like, "Oh my God, I love Mike Mignola." You know, at that point, I got to meet him, and I'm still, like, holding on to that. I own things that are signed by him, and he was like, "Oh, you're a fan?" So he shows me the Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange crossover that Mike did with Roger Stern.
Yeah,
and he was like, and he sold it.
Fellow Ithacan. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and he sold it for me like $40. And I actually got it signed by both of them, Stern and Mike, and I stupidly loaned it to an ex. And now you can't. Yeah, now I kind of want to do that thing. Like, it's almost like a divorce. Like, I will return the books of yours that I have saved. You know, look, we're going to do it like a hostage exchange. Like, you
Right,
give
on a
me this
bridge.
one book. I will never talk to you again, ever. I will give you the books of yours that I meant to give you, that I have, I've read once. I will never read again.
Right.
And I just want that one book. That means nothing to you. It means everything to me. Just give it back.
Yeah.
You know, and then I will never, if I get it back, I will never let it leave my home. I will get a safe, and I'll put it in the safe, and then leave it in the safe.
Yeah.
How do you feel, Drew?
We found out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, we found out about what was it, Dylan? 2 weeks ago that Dylan's we're part of the Tyler Crook comic book cool down family, and every Friday he does a cool down thing where he either does some art or we work on things. Like he's working on a comic with like all of the family people like contributing ideas and stuff right now. But he was saying when he was doing a painting a couple of weeks ago that Mignola had told him that he did this thing with like he had the bottom teeth showing and then he was painting over the top teeth or something. And Mignola told him that it was just like a great way to it looked really great and he thought it was a good stylistic choice. And Tyler's just like, and now I realize that I have done that ever since with everything. He's like, because when Mike Mignola tells you, you know, you're doing a good job with something, you just keep that as part of like how you do things for the rest of your life.
Oh, he's funny like that. I remember when I met him, I was like, "Are you Mike Mignola?" He said, "Usually."
Yeah.
And I was like, "God, I love this guy." Dylan wants to know if you're a fan of Sergio Toppi. Did I say that right, Dylan?
Oh, yeah. I believe an Italian artist. Absolutely. Yeah. He's got like
guys, I think
like a European feel, but it's like a slight Bill Sienkiewicz thrown in there with a scratchy lines and no, absolutely.
Right. So, first thing I guess we'll start with is we'll talk a little bit about Action Comics. Like I was saying to you beforehand, we had the pleasure of having Greg Pak on in February, and he is just, I mean, Greg is one of the best. He is
a pleasure.
He's he's just so fun to be around, especially you could just see the ideas firing off him a million a minute. And you guys
such a big heart
on Action Comics for quite a while, and you know, working together wasn't just I do the words, you do the pictures. You know, you guys were a team.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring up, I read somewhere that you guys, during your Action Comics run, I think it was around the time that Clark's identity starts becoming public. I read the story that you were at like this big get together for DC, and they were talking like, oh, we're going to do these big changes to Clark's life and whatnot. And you're just like drawing on your tablet while people are shooting ideas around. And everybody was like started, like you're just doodling. And you realize that the conversation starts because everybody's kind of looking over your shoulder at your work.
No. They're all professionals. They're all immune to that sort of thing.
Right.
But no, like as we were talking, and this is one of the reasons that I think that artists are so key to that creative conversation, is that, you know, like both companies have tons of like creator summits all the time, but like having artists there represent is a way to create not just like an understanding of what you're doing, but like a synergy between the other like creators. If you're doing like a crossover event or something like that, and you have artists there like sketching out ideas or pounding out like the thought process sort of thing, it can really be a very important thread to like stitch everybody together, to get everybody like this much more cohesive sense of the character that you're representing.
And what is it like being at like one of these kind of events where you're there and you're hearing like people talking about ideas that later then become like big storylines, or maybe you're just chatting with somebody and then they're like, oh yeah, why don't you do this? And they like, oh yeah. And they do that. It's like, oh my God, I contributed to this. This is wild. You know?
I mean, it was also a pretty weird time in my career because it was so early on, and getting to know what it is to work for like the big two, and you know, Marvel and DC have very different approaches, especially back then. So like on one level, DC was very, very inclusive in letting me voice my ideas. And that's why, you know, I was a part of those summits and things like that. That part is really great. That part is like summer camp for
hell yeah,
for like creative energy. It revitalizes you. It makes you want to work more, and it really creates just a net positive in the energy that it takes to make comics. Which I mean, there's other ways to get there, but I found it very beneficial, and it's great. It's great talking to other creators about their projects, regardless of whether your ideas get in there or not. Like I remember after like it was after some C2E2 back in the day, I was considering doing a creator owned, and it was just me and Scott Snyder were just sitting out in the lobby, and you know, within like 10 minutes, like we were swarmed.
My God.
But we were just talking shop, and I just remember like, this is what I love about comics, is that, you know, in the like when you get rid of all of the razzle dazzle,
the bells and whistles.
Yeah, it's just a couple geeks hanging out and having a good time.
It really is.
What makes you happy?
You know, and it's terrible because you mentioned summer camp, and now I'm just imagining a group of people in sleeping bags eating candy, telling spooky stories. But it's
Summer
like,
camp
okay,
was
but
my
what happens if
favorite memory as a
Superman, he does this? Okay, and then, oh, that's a good idea. And then we'll take Batman and he'll do that. And then suddenly that's how Red Sun was born. I'm like, oh my God.
It's funny because like I always like summer camp was kind of tragic for me. So.
Oh no.
And then Kyle Starks comes out from one side with a knife, and Jason Aaron comes crawling through the trees wearing a mask.
Let's not talk about how you imagine summer camp, okay? Calm down. Okay. No, but like I said, it was just like, and then on top of it, like, I just enjoy it. Like, literally, it was, hey, Aaron, we're going to need a bunch of weird creatures. We're going to need a bunch of monsters. You got this? Yeah. Guys, I got this. I'm going to, you know, no problem. Like, bigger, the weirder. Amazed. Oh, we're going to do a subterranean civilization. You got this? No problem. Got this. Yeah. Subterranean. You know?
I love your designs.
That's the job. Well, thanks.
They're really interesting. Like Planet She-Hulk had some interesting background characters and stuff. I was just like, that is cool.
But I think the funny thing is, I was reading this other story in another interview you did, where I think it was you were on a plane trying to draw Superman. It was like Action Comics 41, and you were sitting between a businessman and an old woman. And you basically were explaining to this guy who was a fan of the comic, like what you guys were doing. And then of course, the older woman had, of course, a nephew who was a writer, you know, who would love to get your name. And you're just juggling these two. And then I seem to recall at the end of the story, you were like, never heard from the nephew. But the businessman was like, I'm going to buy that, what you're working on. Going to get that. Get that volume.
And that's pretty common for when you go out into the world, like, you don't run into too many comic artists in the wild because we're always working.
Right.
But yeah, every time you go out and have like those social interactions with people, there's always I got a nephew, I got a cousin, I got a brother,
Right.
sort of source, or I used to draw.
Right.
My son draws and he can doodle.
You got any pointers?
That's great. Yeah. And like, you kind of keep this like standard list in your back pocket of, go get How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. Go practice anatomy. Go draw in coffee shops. Go out into the public and draw life, because that is all I did growing up. Like I didn't go to college, although I do recommend it.
Yeah.
But all I did, like, I was a '90s kid. I was a later stage Gen Xer of like, I sat in coffee shops and I sat in like airports before there was like too much security, and just draw what's around you, and like that's where you get all the monsters in your head too.
Right.
And you see them in the other people around you.
And then you deal with the people who you tell, oh, I work in comics. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's cute.
What is
you
that?
make a living off of that?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like
time?
are you drawing Superman? My kid loves Superman. And you're like, funny you say that. I have drawn Superman.
Me, Joe St. Pierre, and Chris Campana have this ongoing joke. We go up to each other at cons and are just like, oh, did you draw that? Because it's one of the questions that they get so often, and it's just like, I'm sitting here at the table with all these drawings. Of course I
think that's the thing that kind of makes me laugh, because every once in a while I like to listen to other podcasts, because I'm like, I want to see what's out there, get an idea of our competition. And someone's like, wow, these people are good, we got to step up our game. And then some people, I'm just like, do you know how to form a question? Like it'd be like, you're like, oh, so Aaron, what do you draw? Like, right. And I'm just
how did you get into that?
I was working with Greg Pak.
Yeah, exactly. What? How do you feel Daredevil went? And I'm like, I think it went well.
And those are all perfectly valid questions,
right?
But yeah, it can get. There's a little bit of tedium that can.
I think I made that same joke to Mark Waid once or twice. What's Superman like? He's very nice. He's tall.
We call them the pull your string questions.
What was it like working with Alex Ross on Kingdom Come? It was very good. Glad to still be signing it 30 years later. I'm like, class act, that man.
I have a quick kind of, before we move on, I have a quick kind of opposite of that thing where on another network that I do stuff with, my friend Pyle, who is a big guy in the haunt industry, was just talking to me last night, and he called and he was just like, yeah, so I was talking to somebody the other day. I can't remember where I met him, but he mentioned that he was into comic book, or that he was in comic books. And I said, well, I have a friend who she likes comic books, and it said, yeah, ask, she might know me. She might not. I'm just a bit of a doodler. And it was Paul Lee. And I'm like, well, he's been in the biz for 30 years, so yeah, he's got some chops. But this guy was like,
you never know.
Pyle doesn't know anything about comics, and honestly, and so he thought, when he said that he was a bit of a doodler, that he was just like, yeah, I've drawn a couple things that I've submitted and haven't been approved, or whatever. But so that was kind of fun.
You got to start somewhere. I mean, Aaron started somewhere, and he just kept doodling. And now people people buy his books and bring them to sign at conventions. They're like, "I love your work." And he's like, "Oh God, thank you, wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. You're great."
But I mean, even there's so many people in this industry, and so many people jumping in and out.
Right.
Hopefully to go on to do bigger and better things for themselves, but there's a lot of transient folk, you know what I'm saying? a lot of hobos on the rails.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people jump in, jump off. But not to insinuate that
You're good.
Paul did that, but like it's so hard to keep track of who's doing what.
Oh,
right.
And when somebody sticks in your mind, that person forever is making a living and is happy, even though they just drew 3 issues 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that the thing being is, like you said, like first things first, someone keeps rebooting the timeline and I'm getting lost at who's doing what anymore. So like, for the God's sake, can we just stop? Second, I think everyone, like you said, everybody did the credit. I mean, like bring back kind of like what you guys are doing. Like you and Greg were at a time where you're continually reinventing the character at DC. You're reinventing Superman, which is a huge task because you're doing what some would consider an extremely difficult act, which is something the New 52 is really trying to do, is how do we do something new but still keep true to the character? So you guys had your Superman going through a lot of changes. You know, you're going from what we know of Superman to he's going back to the t-shirt and jeans kind of look, which was originally how Action Comics started, which was like, you know, when Morrison, and you guys were deconstructing a lot, but you're still keeping true to the character, and that's a tough act to follow, you know? So kudos to you.
Well, it's just, what is it, 75 years of acts to follow? Yeah. The beautiful thing about that is that Greg and I were of the same mind,
right,
as to who Superman is. Versus we had, there's a lot of editorial. There were a lot of people that were very invested on the business side of things to make this work, and they had their own ideas too. So we had to take their ideas and balance it with our own interpretation of the character. And we did what we could. You know, it was there were wins, there were losses, but I'm genuinely very proud of that book.
I thought the New 52 altogether was definitely, there was definitely more success than failure in that.
I would say, like, you know, if you just took a random period of time in comics and compared the attempt to make something new,
right,
and the attempt to like bring forth the energy of creators and readers and bring them together, I would say that there was a lot of people that would complain about New 52 back in the day, but in the end, really great stories, really great art, really great swings for the fences, you know.
100%.
I actually had fallen out of comics back in late 90s or something like that, and New 52 is what really brought me back into buying Comics Weekly and stuff. It was good to have that fresh start, and just like you weren't confused where to go.
Well, and then on top of that, they followed that with the DCU stuff. It was just like that was like the cherry on top for me. They were doing like Omega Man and just some really like the Prez, like off the wall stuff that I really feel like if it had more of a backing, I guess, I don't know, more of a dedication to keep it going, it would have made lifelong fans.
I think that's the hard thing, is that, you know, with especially legacy characters, is about, it's not, is there a fan base, but is there a fan base that will hold the interest, purchase the stories? Because no matter what, book,
who knows? I mean, I sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
Oh no.
You know, the idea that is like the whole system's kind of broke. Like
Mm-hmm.
the way that retailers order their books, they shouldn't have to have like such a gambling sort of mentality when they're trying to create have more product. Like, granted, I think it's like, so if you had a store that sold shirts or sold various items, you would have multiple distributors. You would have multiple brands coming to you, and you'd wheel and deal.
Right.
And when I was a bartender, and I worked in the service industry, you'd have liquor reps and stuff coming to you and be like, "Hey, if you buy 10 cases, we'll give you 5 cases for free," sort of thing.
Right.
Retailers in comics, like, if that's there, it's very rare.
Right.
Oh no.
And that sense of competitiveness, or that sense of there's a value to long-term investment in a storyline,
and and it just can change at a whim, and it's just so sad because, again, everything really is dependent on the sales, the attention, and I mean, again, we've seen great books that should have deserved more get cut short, and books that, maybe personally speaking might be a little mediocre, just keep going.
Hey,
but
I personally think She-Hulk was amazing. No, just kidding.
Hand down. Listen,
What?
very surprised.
He's not talking about you.
I know.
Trust me.
Yeah. Whoa. Was not talking. Thoroughly enjoyed that. But it's just surprising, I guess. So, but
it is.
Unfortunate. The industry isn't perfect. It's got its pros and cons, like anything in life. So, hopefully,
So talking about reboots, Dylan had a question about what do we think of Marvel's new Midnight Universe, and that so far we have Philip Kennedy Johnson is doing the Midnight Spider-Man. Jonathan Hickman is doing
the Avengers.
The Avengers. I thought it was the X-Men.
It's like either
there's X-Men, Fantastic Four, and one of them's Benjamin Percy, and the other one's Jonathan Hickman. Yeah, it's Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and X-Men.
Fantastic Four is Percy.
Okay, yeah. So because he's doing like the cosmic view of things. So it's their new thing. They're doing horror instead of pulling forth the horror characters and putting them in the forefront. They're taking the superheroes and giving them the horror.
Did you see what Spider-Man's supposed to look like?
No.
Where he's a big spider and the appendage of him is Peter Parker?
Nope. Nope.
Sounds like Philip. I mean...
No.
Drew's not going to read any of it.
Someone asked me, what is your most terrifying Spider-Man? Oh, it's Man Spider. That's just pure nightmare fuel for an arachnophobe. Like giant Spider-Man. I was like, nope, nightmares. Not for me. Thank you very much. Moving on.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I personally don't know anything about the new Marvel line, but I will say that each of those writers are fantastic.
Yes.
And I would trust them with a nightmare fueled story any day of the week.
100%.
Yeah.
And speaking of nightmare, like, you got to kind of do your own kind of horror when you were doing Death of X, which in 4 issues, you guys did a lot. And I was just got to say, like, because again, the attention to detail, like, again, I don't mind spoiling some things because it's been out for a long freaking time. So read the comic, guys.
It was the first book that I did with Marvel under my original exclusive.
But I got to say,
I just had my 10-year anniversary of that. So
wow, congratulations! But I mean, I'm a huge Madrox fan, so that one scene, I was like, oh god.
Oh, all the bodies.
Yeah, I was like,
the clone bodies.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's
no,
funny.
I know.
That was such. It seems like it like, because I haven't worked really with X-Men stuff except for a couple of covers recently. It's such a different universe than all the other Marvel stuff I've been doing.
Right.
And it's so in its own bubble.
Right.
That it almost felt like it was a totally different company, a totally different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had a blast doing it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and on top of it, you're working with Charles Soule and Jeff Lemire, who are legends of their own respect. Yeah. So, I mean, what a dynamite script. But, I mean, look at, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, ginormous fan of both of them.
Like, yeah. So.
Yeah, this was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was so sad.
Yeah.
I was like,
and that's what it's supposed to be.
Like, just reading that, I was like, oh, you inhuman bastards.
And I felt bad for, Peter David afterwards had a lot of things to say about that. Because, Madrox was his dude too.
That's his guy.
And he eventually decided that it couldn't have been Jamie because they didn't have the mutant M on their face.
Oh, okay.
But it was funny because after the whole Death of X thing, and Peter David had kind of publicly been like,
yeah, curses you,
shaking his fist at it. We were on a panel together at a show, and I just I met him a handful of times. He actually was one of the co-writers of my very first project.
Oh shit!
With Coheed and Cambria's the Evil Inc. Claudio Sanchez, and on it started with my first solo book was Key of Z.
Nice.
But Amory Wars right before that.
Okay.
Peter David was a co-writer on.
Nice.
So I did like 6 issues of that. I took over for Chris Burnham right when he was about to go to do Batman Incorporated.
Okay.
And that was my big break, as it were.
Wow. So that was your big break going into filling in for Chris Burnham? Jeez.
Yeah, that's not too hard. I mean, that's not the hard part.
But still, no pressure. Like,
I love that guy. Oh, he's the one who got me the job. So
he's the best. Yeah, but like, again, just reading that, I was like, wow. I mean, you guys did a lot with 4 issues.
Yeah.
So I was just like, wow, the scope of the story was big. But Kari, Jar, what did you guys think? What did you have?
I had a good time reading it. You know how I am with emotional stuff. It breaks your heart here and there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to pull up pick again because you can't tell. I'm not that totally frazzled out today, but so Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
The only character with apparently more hair than Storm these days in the entire universe. I absolutely relate to her because, like I said, you can't tell right now, but this stuff, these guys have seen me at the cons, and particularly if it's humid, my hair is over 3.5 feet long, and it just flies everywhere. And I love how it's stupid, but I love how you did the hair.
Children while you walk down the aisle.
Yeah,
so much.
Yeah, that's what it is. So that's just I love people who do the hair for people with big, like
big hair.
Yeah. There's like pretty much her and Storm always get like their hair is the focus of kind of the character at some point.
With Rogue
like they have the nice bodies, but the hair is like the
I
you
would
can
say,
tell the
I would
mood.
say hair, She-Hulk's hair is also one of her defining traits. Like it
That's
doesn't get
true.
as much airplay.
Yep.
Hairplay.
Hairplay.
Good
word there.
Love a good word.
But I found like if I didn't get She-Hulk's hair right, it would have stood out. It stood out when I roughing it out and trying to get the feel for the character.
That it's something that I do because we do news segments and stuff, and I get the covers, and you have to we put the cover on one side, and then we kind of do a close up on part of the cover to just fill the space, so you can see a little bit better. And I'm always like, okay, I got to fit the hair in. So how does it the top lock? As long as there's something, as long as it doesn't cut off everything below something, it's right. You can't, even to the point where with Clark, you have to get the little bit of the curl in. You can't just have him be flat-headed. You have to catch that little extra part up there. But with Storm's hair, sometimes it's well, that's all we're gonna see. That's just
hair,
the whole
and
thing,
lightning.
Just hair.
Like Medusa.
With
hair.
With her becoming the goddess, and now her hair glows almost like when she uses her power.
I gotta buy a product for that.
That's just whiteout now. You can just do that with whiteout, and
just whiteout.
You don't have to worry about the strands.
Was there anything that was particularly challenging drawing? There was a lot of characters in Death of X. Was there anything that to you took a minute that you're like, all right, hold on?
Everything. Well, because first off, it was the first big project for Marvel. I'd done a couple of things before, but that was my first I'm a Marvel guy now.
Right.
That's got pressure all on its own.
Yeah, and and again, also friends with Charles Soule, but huge fan. Never had worked with him other than as a colleague, and also Jeff Lemire. They were big shoes to dance with. And then you had not just the X-Men, not just all of the X-Men, you had all the Inhumans.
Right.
In a story that wasn't about them fighting. Where it was about these two situations where they had to figure stuff out. And there was fighting, etc., but that wasn't the point. It was it's hard to bring back some of the memories because I don't it was very much a test of trying to fit the vibe of so many different things because at the time Marvel was really pushing for an Inhumans line,
right?
And they were doing the new Inhumans and bringing them to Earth, and and it felt like they were just trying to kill off all the X-Men at the same time. So
it was a weird time.
But I got to draw some of my I got to redesign a lot of the characters, at least if nothing just for that book. The Stepford Cuckoos. I got to do my own little take on them, and that was cool. It never caught on, but
well, I enjoyed it.
Poor Alchemy.
Yeah, I mean,
my
Alchemy,
God!
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, I got to. It's so many. The thing is about that book is that I'm kind of glad that Hickman came in and wiped the slate clean with all every X-Men that was dead came back.
Right.
Or every mutant that was dead came back. But I killed Scott, I killed Multiple Man, I killed Alchemy.
Right.
And they were supposed to be dead. It wasn't it wasn't they were ever supposed to come back at the time. At least that was the memo I got. So, and Alchemy, Art
killing everybody, dude.
My love for Art Adams. I was
was there any character that you enjoyed killing off?
Scott.
It was a rough time. It was a rough time.
That's actually how they sold it to me. They just were like, "Hey, do you want to kill Cyclops?" And I was like, "Yes,
yes, I do."
Yeah, it's always funny because I'm always on the fence because I feel like sometimes Cyclops is the same way about Superman in the regards of he's a good character, just people need to write him in a way that's really captures the character. And it's just so easy to just play it safe you know. But if you really get like a good vision, like for instance, like I'm not the biggest fan of the creator, but like how Joss Whedon did Cyclops was awesome because he stripped him his powers, he made him a badass. So I was like, okay, cool, this is great. And then you had Bendis, who was like,
right,
okay, I'm Cyclops, I've killed my mentor, I'm basically going to do whatever I want, and if they're going to call me a terrorist, fuck you. Like, I'm going to run next.
Right.
And, you know, but then some people are just like, well, Cyclops is a fucking wad. Like, who cares? Because Wolverine's cooler. And I'm just like, okay, fair, but Cyclops is still important. Can we not just say fuck you?
So I like, my favorite Cyclops is not in the X-Men Cyclops. I like him as X-Factor Cyclops.
Oh, okay.
Or off doing his own thing, because I think he's kind of muddled around in the X school. He's like the sixth year senior,
right?
You know? Like, he's like the one that like
never really left.
Just keeps hanging out. Like,
right. It's like, okay.
He buys all the kids alcohol now. Like,
right.
You can't really encourage this anymore.
My papa would say,
I really liked X Factor, and I really liked him in X Factor.
Okay. So like a less cool version of McConaughey in Dazed and Confused, you know?
yeah.
If
the guy from
the
Dazed
same
and Confused,
age.
Yeah, that was the quote I wasn't going to mention, but yeah.
All right.
My papa would say he's a dweeb. That was this one. Also, apparently you are a monster. You asked for a blank sketch, and only if you could kill Cyclops again, because this person asked for the 90s strapped up Cyclops.
Wow.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't follow that. I'm a monster?
I think somebody asked you for a commission, and it was a commission of Cyclops, and you told them that you would only do it if you could kill him.
Oh, well.
That sounds about right.
Know. I mean, maybe.
It was a 90s one, too. All the spandex.
I have no problems with you killing Cyclops as many times as you would enjoy doing it.
Right. It's not, it's not like I don't think that the industry is divided half and half.
I mean, at this point, I feel like, again, it's comic books. The only people who stay dead are normal people.
Yeah.
You know, like to this day, Uncle Ben is still dead. The ones that
inspire the superheroes.
Right.
Imagine if they brought Uncle Ben back.
Right.
Like,
and then they do it, and then they're like, "Oh, tee-hee, it's an alternate version of Ben," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
really?"
I was thinking about that whole like alternate versions and stuff. I mean, granted, it is the comic book industry, so there is a lot of heavy-handed shifting of realities to sweep stories under the rug to be able to tell your story, sort of thing. But like,
right,
I was thinking about that, and like, there's very like when those times that I have a hard time remembering like a run on a book where it wasn't a mind altered, reality altered, alternate of an alternate sort of take on the hero, or like even like say with Daredevil, he came back and like nobody remembers him except for the people that are trying to kill him, of course.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like he was a priest, and he had to rediscover his love for being Daredevil. There's just so many of those books out there for me that like those are the books that I got put onto. Like when I did the Al Ewing Hulk Christmas special issue, it was the editor called me up and was like, "Hey, do you want to do this Christmas special issue? It's going to be a silent issue." And I was like, "Well, who's writing it?" And yeah, it was a beautiful story. It was one of the biggest feathers in my hat to this day. I love the art of telling stories that are universal. But I was like, so wait. Then I discovered after I agreed to do it that it wasn't going to be big muscular Hulk. It was going to be a skinny anorexic Hulk that doesn't have any muscles, but he's still like 7 or 12 feet tall or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, man, I don't ever get to draw. It's just like that guy, like the hero as is. And so that's like the lament of the artist. Like,
damn.
Yeah.
You got to draw me, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's like
Jar is a Hulk. You know, it's like Beaker is a Hulk, you know?
You're all over, too top heavy.
Yeah. But
his forehead just pulls him forward. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, you know, speaking of like Daredevil, you know, just like again, I've read some Daredevil. I'm gonna admit I've only read some, but like I thought what you and Saladin did was great. I mean, and on top of it, like the way you guys went about things, the visuals were just so rad. And I really enjoyed something I read where, like, for you, it's really important, like that a script has, like, I believe you put it, the moments of humanity, like the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a term for it in like manga, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's where you pause from the action,
right,
to basically to emphasize the action. It's like if you're constantly just smacking your fists against the wall, people aren't going to care until you let that person like go eat a bowl of soup or something,
right,
and then choose to go back to beat that wall. Like,
it's kind of how
it
I
makes
felt
it escalates it.
Kind of how I felt about the Walking Dead TV show. After a while, how many ways are there to kill zombies?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just don't care.
Yeah.
No, but it was fascinating because, again, like the attention to detail, how you guys took things, and then of course, you know, just the no pun intended, the splash pages, like some of them were fantastic.
Yeah.
Just the attention to detail. Like, I think one of my favorites was one, I don't remember what issue it was. I think it was like deep into introductory rights, because, you know, it was like 18 chapters long. You had this beautiful jarring care. I'm sure you remember it. There was this beautiful splash page, and it was a Matt swinging through New York, but he's just this little character in it, and then the focus
all of New York.
Your background, yeah. Incredible.
Oh my God, I
think
like,
it was the last issue I drew.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's a motherfucking screensaver, man.
That was one of the, like, my must include in the series sort of ideas that I had when I first signed on to do it. Like, you know, there are certain images that pop into your head as like you know, one of the things that inspired that particular splash was thinking about how, you know, like in like movies from the 70s, they'd have like this sweeping pan, like camera pan, and in a city, and like you wouldn't know what the heck is going on, and then you just see a little dot falling off a building or something, and then everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, she jumped!" Or, like, you didn't know what was going on at all,
right?
But they show this little movement in a bunch of stillness, and that was the humanity. I'm sure they did it because they could only throw a bag off the building,
right?
Versus, like, you know, having the special effects of somebody actually jumping. But that idea of that speck, that little tiny thing, is the thing that catches your your attention of this vast city. I enjoyed doing that a lot. Yeah.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Has
there
there
another
ever
thing.
been? Oh, I'm
What was it,
sorry.
Josh? No, go,
I
Josh.
was going to ask, has there ever been a project that you didn't get to do that you wished you were on?
Sorry, I'm just going to get into a little bit more light here.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was like, literally
just
doing the show,
realized-
we've watched the light get progressively darker. Like,
Yeah,
like literally any
the
second.
sun
Like,
setting. I don't have any. I didn't actually turn the lights on in the room, but
it's all good. It's like
the
light.
well, let's see. I've got a nice sunset going on out there.
There you go. Nothing wrong with
that. Any projects that I wanted to do that I didn't.
That they just went in a different direction, or maybe even like a project that you didn't even go for, but like, man, I wish I had gotten onto that.
No, because once you say no,
Good answer.
it's not your project anymore. There are projects that I've turned down, and I've watched the creators do their thing with it. I don't know if I had stayed on whether those things whether they would have been the same sort of story sort of thing. Like back when I was with DC, I turned down Batman projects all the time.
Wow.
I'm not a huge Batman folk.
Oh, Leo's turning in his boots right now.
He's flipping in his BAFTA tank or whatever.
Yeah, pretty
much. But yeah, no. And actually, that was one of the things that made me want to do Daredevil, was because the thing about Batman that I don't really jive with is the billionaires beating up poor people sort of mentality, and that's one thing. But with Daredevil, you know, he's a young guy, or he's a guy from the streets. He literally raised himself, and regardless of what life threw at him, he continued to try to do the morally correct thing, which is also, you know, one of the things that makes it kind of boring sometimes. But
well, he also never forgot where he came from. You know, he was always still from Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And something else I found was fascinating, especially about your Daredevils. I didn't know this, that when you were doing the youth center, you had built like a Google model or like a 3D model of it, all like 5 stories.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's rad.
That is.
Well, I did that mostly for Saladin. We had. Well, I really wanted it to feel like a lived-in place,
right?
Because, you know, there's the idea of like having just your generic building or generic apartment complex or something like that, but like a youth center has children in it, and like you have to like. There are things that you have to do, like, you know, cover the plugs and like have the safety latches on the cabinets. And there's going to be shoes piled up in the corner. You know, those were the things that I really wanted to capture with, especially the kids, and especially like having that sense of this is his life now. This is Matt's life. And, you know, in life, sometimes you're immersed in other people's lives, and they take as much priority as your most tragic scenario. Like, sometimes you just gotta put everything else aside and focus on somebody else, other than like, you know, your drive to fight possible crime.
Yeah, having him go through stuff like that when reading that when he goes to take the young gal to get her inhaler, and it goes to the wrong pharmacy, and then they ask to go, and she wants to pet kittens. And he's like,
so cute.
I've got to break up a
beautiful.
crime syndicate tonight, but I'm gonna let this girl have 10 minutes to pet
10
kittens.
minutes.
I like to see the mundane going on in their worlds.
Yeah, it makes it more valuable.
Yeah.
I looked it up, and it's Nichichoge.
Oh, yeah.
It's slice of life.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
But it was so nice. And I wanted to pull up this one because you see me kind of hover on it. Your use of motion and creation of motion. It's not just this page, but this was the first one that I came across. It shows all over the way. I love how it's not really stuck to a panel at all. You just kind of went there's a little round, like this is kind of a panel, but that's also his perceptions. I love that. That's you're really good. And there's so many other pages, guys, that I could have pulled up, but this one was just like right there, and I was like, yes.
I actually
really
built
good
my
at
own compass for that.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
I couldn't get a compass that was, or a stencil or anything large enough for those larger circles. So I went out and I got this little thin sheet of aluminum, like flat aluminum, and I got a Dremel and I drilled little tiny holes through it. And, that was a labor of love there.
Wow.
Nice.
It looks fabulous. And you have some, I know, with like the flipping through things, and it's like the bad guys are all getting their asses beat, but they're just kind of standing in a row getting beat up as you see Daredevil just flipping through and just beating the shit out of everybody.
That was something that artists used to do a lot more of in like the 80s, especially with like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where it was like you would see him like bounce, flip, kick, bop, boop, boop towards the camera.
Right.
And I really wanted to do something like that with Daredevil, because like I always loved those scenes where it's like they're just standing around being bad guys, and
bang.
Well,
I'm henching.
Right. and then especially like reading about it, like you yourself were a Daredevil fan. Like you talked about, some of your Daredevil was like the John Romita Jr., like early Lee Weeks, Al Williamson. Like I think you described them as the forefathers of Daredevil, right?
My Daredevil, sure.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people were influenced by Miller's Daredevil. And I came on later. It was the John Romita's, the Darwin. No, oh shoot. But yes, the era right after Frank Miller. That they had the toughest job in comic books that there is that you have to take up after somebody that just did a really great job on a series.
Yeah.
And you have to make it something. I love that era. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that was like Ann Nesenti, there was John Romita Jr., then there was, I think following them was like Dan Chichester, like Lee Week and Al Williamson. Just a lot of people.
Al Williamson was throughout it all. Like he was inking John Romita and all sorts of folks in between.
Right. And then keeping that going till I think like early 2000s, and then that's when Bendis and Alex Maleev come in with Marvel Knights. They're doing their Daredevil, and that is just the completely different game changer in its own right. And that's the crazy thing, is that, I mean, what a great thing for you as a fan. You get your stamp on your own era of Daredevil.
Yeah. For sure. That's that you could say that for all the characters I've worked on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Do you? Oh, go ahead.
I do know that we have one particular member of the Dorkening who sometimes shows up on splash pages, Brandon, who will appreciate that in your Edge of the Spider-Geddon, you properly quoted that with great power must come great responsibility, rather than the oft misquoted thing. So I was very proud of you for that when I was reading it. I was like, he got it right. If he didn't, Brandon would just be like, motherfucker got it wrong.
Nice. Well, I think
great
about
job on that,
a
both in
lot.
writing and yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
please elaborate. Yes.
You have to look up your sources, especially when you think you know,
and especially when there's like decades of just history. Decades.
Yeah,
decades.
I for the longest time I thought Wolverine's claws made a what was it, schnick?
Oh no!
Instead of snick.
Snicked.
Snicked. Yeah, the
bam
at the end.
Gotta pronounce the T.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I think that's like you're like, oh yeah, it's been this way, and then someone's like, actually, it's the other way, and you're like,
yeah,
my world is broken.
It's like a million Pearl Jam songs. Like,
yeah, basically.
Wait, what is he saying? Hold on, just a second.
There was a front porch somewhere.
Yeah,
I know there was a front porch.
I love that song too.
I do too.
It's the only artist that you can get away with just making guttural scatting.
Oh yeah.
But you have to position your mouth just right, because he has an underbite, and the way that he sings is you have to get that out there to get your tone right. Actually, like, trust me, I get drunk and try to sing Pearl Jam a lot, and for me to do any of it, I can.
Kari, respectfully, your drunk Pearl Jam is pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not bad. Yeah, but it's
nice.
See him again.
Yeah,
you gotta have that out.
Yeah, even float. Yes, a bird that's
and I have an overbite, so it's like
karaoke show.
Or it's like or it's like the guy from Creed, with arms wide open. And I'm like, what is the rest of the song? Does anyone know? And then they're like, you actually lyrics like, oh, okay. There was more of like, no one's gonna care,
like,
because their arms are gonna be wide open.
Do you want to be there though? And I want to be there again.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I just enjoyed that you're at a point where you can just, like, Aaron, you can just find a project. I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do that. Like, one of the craziest ones that I realized you did, I was like, oh my God, I love this, was when you did Godzilla versus Thor with Jason Aaron. And I, as a kaiju fan, like, yes. Like,
yeah. Well, yes. I was a little hesitant to take that one on. Mostly because of I have this fear of, like, I don't really trust books that are, Marvel character meets random character from another licensing, because it doesn't usually hold any emotional weight.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I got a preview, or I got to talk to the editor about what Jason wanted to do. And I think they sent me the pitch too. And yeah, it just hit, like the emotional pull, the feelings of, like, this is something that, sure, it's not going to, like, reverberate in the Marvel universe or do anything, like, probably won't do anything with it later on with the Godzilla stuff or the Toho stuff. But it's enough of a standalone emotional book.
Oh yeah.
And had resonance.
Did you get any direction from Toho? I hear working with them, they have a hand in what Godzilla goes into.
Absolutely. And that's going to be true with any, like when I did Darth Vader covers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was going to ask.
Lucasfilms was right there.
No kidding.
Everything I did had to be approved, not just through Marvel, but through whoever owns the other IP.
Oh, okay.
And that was Toho and Lucasfilms, and no, it was actually, I turned in the second. There's a double-page spread of Thor flying at Godzilla, and Godzilla is just rampaged through Asgard.
Yes.
And
iconic.
And it was like a hell yeah moment when Toho responded with like, "That's the best thing the whole series has put out yet."
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
I was like,
I was just thinking that. like don't remember, the other books were good, but it was just like,
it's
but
not
this
knocking
book,
anybody else's work at all.
I was like, fuck yes. And I'm not even the biggest Thor fan. Like I'm mediocrely Thorish,
right.
But like seeing that, I was like, yes, more please. Like you got you and Jason, just the visuals and the story. I was just like, yes.
We have similar like tragic pasts. I'm sorry, that was a callback to.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't looked into it yet because I don't want to know how horribly depressed Godzilla is, because I'm sure Jason was able to make Godzilla like, okay, and now here's your history, and you're lost, you're broken, you're alone on this world, you're sitting here trying to do everything,
and you're angry.
It's weighing on you, you're angry, and here is this God of all that's good, and he's coming after you. What do? You
take a shot of whiskey and you try to kill him. Boom.
I couldn't see like an emotionally damaged Godzilla just like it just would kill me.
It was a blast. Like the funny thing, one of the really just enjoyable things about working on that, which I wasn't expecting, was that I altered my own storytelling techniques to try to emulate the Godzilla movies, where it was like mostly camera shots from the ground going up at
or just a headshot too, like
and
building,
right, or one giant arm coming in.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, thinking about it in terms of the cinematography, or the way that the limitations that they had when they were making the original Godzilla movies was a really fun way to make the project a little more interesting for me while I'm sitting with it hours and hours of a day.
To this day, I still laugh at the meme that was, if you watch the original Godzilla backwards, it's about a monster rebuilding Tokyo and then moonwalking into the ocean. And to this day, I'm just thinking to myself, like, there's a part of me that says, "How dare you?" And the other part of me is genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
I love.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say this funny little Godzilla. Like, Godzilla fans are serious.
Oh yeah.
They're like, it's funny. There are comic book fans of certain characters that together they're kind of scary. Like Godzilla fans are like that. I'm sure that I'm just kind of blanking on the rest, but Batman fans can be like that. But so if you come across a real Godzilla fan, like in the wild, don't debate them.
Oh no,
no, ever.
No.
But I remember at one of my first shows, I was standing, I'm at a booth, and there's an artist next to me, and then there's a Godzilla fan talking to the artist that's next to me. But the artist that's next to me is not a Godzilla artist. He's not like somebody that is really like big into Godzilla even.
Right.
But the fan is just talking Godzilla the whole time.
God damn.
And so I kind of like jokingly said, you know, I've always wanted to see a Gru versus Godzilla book. And I think Gru the Wanderer.
Yeah.
Because I think Gru would win. Just by stumbling across.
Oh wow.
Stumbling across the way. Yeah.
You said Groot, and I was like, he's just going to tree him to death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Groo.
Okay.
Oh, my favorite is antagonizing kaiju fans, because then you bring in the Ghostbusters. I was like, who would win, Stay Puft and Godzilla? And I'm just like, go. And then they just argue, and I'm just like, good. Dance, puppets, dance. I was like, it doesn't matter. In the end, humanity loses.
There have been so many recent Godzilla crossovers, and
he is everywhere,
really
man.
And all the variant covers. I'm interested though on like how people decide what size he is, because they have like, here is Superman, and like if you consider my screen to be the rest of the cover, like Superman is like as big as maybe Godzilla's nostril. Or like that he can look into Godzilla's, and then some of them have, a slightly bigger scale where they're like the size of Godzilla's hand or something instead of smaller than his nose. And
someone always has a robot that's ready to fight Godzilla.
At least with when I was doing it, they give you a chart. Like they send you a chart.
Oh, good.
Like here he is at the beginning. And here he is in the last Godzilla movie, and they kind of reference like him versus the Eiffel Tower, him versus like sort of thing. So I was able to like kind of get it as close as I could, where Thor was about the size of one of his big teeth.
Was that like a surreal moment? You're getting an email from Toho. You're like, getting an email from Toho. Like, I made it.
I mean, there are always those moments where it's like, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still surviving.
If this is a stroke, oh my God, we've hit a good point.
But yeah, no, I had that with Godzilla. I had that with Lucasfilms. I had that with Marvel. I had that with DC.
Right. Amazing.
There's a point where you just accept it.
Right.
Where it's like you have to realize that, okay, you're good enough to stand on those platforms.
Right.
Which is not an easy thing to accept. But that is where the whole, it's almost like survivor's guilt kicks in, where it's like you're not sure why you're there, but you have to keep going anyway.
Howard Chaykin would be very proud of you right now for accepting your own self-worth and knowing what you can do with it.
Right. Yeah.
And in the terms of Star Wars, many Bothans died to give you that information.
Yeah.
But we don't talk Star Wars with him.
No,
hey, stop it. All right, so we're gonna start wrapping it up. So, Kari, did you have any other questions that you wanted to ask Aaron before we wrap up?
Let me look at my little list here. I know I had something. I'm blanking right now. I might as well go with the easiest one. If you had one thing to tell up and coming artists, like about getting into the business, like how would you say to not to do it, but the best way to like, without having better words, to do it, how to start getting your, because it's not as easy these days where you bring your whole book to cons and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff has to go through email and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, in the sense of it going through email, it's a little bit simpler than it was when.
Oh, really?
In the sense of you can get a hold of somebody via email, whether they actually open their email or not. Like that's a different story. But so when I broke in, it was different enough that I'm not sure how one would go about emulating my path.
Mm-hmm.
So before I got into drawing, or before I started doing it professionally, I would be a part of these comic book art forum fan sites, like Pencil Jacks, Digital Webbing. Like these were like comic book forums that people went into, and they talked about the who's its and what's its of characters. And I started taking part in this sketch challenge, weekly sketch challenge on 10 Ton Studios site. And so back then it was a matter of like there were probably maybe like a dozen on a good week, a dozen folks that would chime in every week. They would draw something. It had to be by hand. You had to vote at the end, and you if you won, you got to choose somebody else's art, and they literally had to mail it to you.
Oh,
like the physical art.
Cool.
Yeah, it leveled it up. You couldn't just half-ass it. So the folks that I was doing that against were Chris Burnham, were Riley Brown, were Koi Pham, were Charles Paul Wilson III, were Nick Vitera. I think it's a long list of people that are very well known now.
Right.
And I apologize for the ones that I'm not name dropping. That we just not only did we synergize in wanting to create stuff, but those weekly contests, they taught me deadlines. They taught me how to take critiques, because we'd all give each other feedback at the end too. So that sort of thing, where you're in basically a community of people that are trying to get to the
next level,
get through the gates, sort of thing. That's what you have to find. Whether that's from a comic book forum that doesn't exist anymore, or whether that's through a Twitch stream or something like some multi-game platform where you're talking with people that are like-minded, that have the same goal, that have like this drive.
Right.
There's nothing better than that community. There's nothing better. I consider each one of those people like a sibling these days. Like I may not have talked to them for years, but I love them to death.
It's very awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah, find your people. That's the key to life anyway. Like whether you're going to be in comics or not. Like,
find your people.
Yeah.
They'll help you get by when you don't get into comics, which is the harder time.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's a great place to stop, actually.
Indeed.
I was going to do the weekly question, but we don't need to do that one.
Nope.
So I think this was beautiful.
Variety is good, Kari.
All right. So, Aaron, we're going to pop you up here. We have your socials and stuff listed, and you're going to be on our page as well. What do you have coming up as far as cons and things, perhaps, or appearances? Signings?
Geez. I think the next thing I'm doing is like not until New York Comic Con.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I have a couple covers coming out soon, but the next big project I don't think will be announced until New York. So,
okay. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. No, it's I am very much looking forward to it. This is a dream project. So
sweet.
Ooh.
And then where do you like people to reach out to you on social media?
Probably Instagram is the best, or my website. Like I have you can sign up and send me a note through my website.
It's true.
All right.
It's the best way to get a hold of me. AaronKuder.com.
Got it.
Okay. All right. And check up above or down below for the links for everybody and such. you guys know me. I'm Kari. You can find me here on Facebook. Go to Kari Sanders. If there is a judgmental crow staring at you, that is the right page. All of my other links are from there. I use all of the other socials, but I don't actually post with any of them. I just follow all the other people. So that's how you find me, because I'm lazy. I used to have somebody who did all those things, and then I was just like, nah, just stop.
Nah.
It's difficult. Nah, don't do it.
Nah.
I'm
Jar.
like Carrie on that one. Like, I'm on everything, but I really only correspond with people on Facebook or on Twitch. If you really want to just hang out and chit chat and stuff, I've got a growing community on Twitch. It's a lot of fun, and it's like Aaron said. Aaron says,
You did
find
right.
your community, find your people. My people seem to be on Twitch, and it's a lot of fun hanging out with those guys. So do it up and come out Splash Pages every Tuesday. We're here.
We are.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Splash Pages. We really appreciated you taking that time. Your TiVo or whatever streaming service you've been exhausting appreciates the break too. But all jokes aside, thank you for joining us. If you like what you saw, please make sure you check our YouTube. Please hit like and subscribe. Also, check out our website. We've been building that up, and it's looking great. We got a lot of information about our guests, upcoming guests, and a lot of our past guests, and we're doing our best to promote a lot of their work because we want you to learn more about them. We want you to give them more money so they can keep doing what they're doing. It's a nice cycle. We're perpetuating it. And if you need to get in touch with me, you can find me. I'm Drew Malo on most of my social medias. Ghostbusterman1984 on Instagram. I'm generally exhausted, so I assure you, if I don't get back to you, it's because I'm literally dead to the world and just respawning at my last save point. Oh, and make sure to check next week when we have the great Ray Fawkes is returning. We're going to talk more about what he's been up to, some more of his awesome work. So totally stoked to have him back. So make sure to tune for that.
Yeah.
All right. We love you too, Dylan.
Bye, everybody. Stay spooky.
Bye. Be good. Like and subscribe. Yes.
Yes.